We're glad to have you. Thank you, Meg.
Thanks.
Do you want me to start off with the rules, Meg, or?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So for a TV commercial competition, the script has to be pre-memorized. We do not provide a script for you. In this competition, you can make up your own, or you can use your favorite commercial and go from there. So we've had a lot of people who will make up one for their favorite toy for the kids, or some adults really think a Coca-Cola commercial is funny and they use that one. So that is up to you. We do not provide the script for that competition. And it can be from 10 to 30 seconds, no more than 30 seconds. And if it is more than 30 seconds, then the judges can stop you. So we do suggest anywhere in the 20-second range. So that way, if you speak a little slower, speak a little faster, then you still have some time to work with. So there's also no props unless you can carry them in and out easily. So again, if you did like a Coke commercial and you want to bring a can of Coke, that's perfectly fine. If you have a ladder in your commercial, you can't bring a ladder into the judging room. That just won't work. And it is closed to audience. So it is kind of set up as an audition for a TV commercial would be in this industry. So you'll go in, there'll be an X on the floor. It'll only be you and the reps and maybe 1 or 2 CMTC staff members that are just in there to assist. And even if you're 4 years old, you're going in there by yourself. And then we do have an area for parents to wait for the ones who are under 18. And then no sitting or standing. So again, it is supposed to be set up like an actual television commercial audition, and they just want to hear you and your performance and what you have to say. They don't want to be focused on all these crazy actions. So we do suggest kind of standing where you're suggested to stand.
Sorry, she means no sitting or lying down.
Oh, what did I say?
Sitting and standing.
Oh, yes, you can stand. Thank you, Meg.
No worries.
I'm a little tired today. And that really summarizes the rules. They are on our website if you want to double check them. We'll also send out an email yesterday with the rules, and we'll send one again on Friday. But they are on our website, as well as a link to the videos that will kind of show you what it looks like inside the room during the competition. Mm-hmm. Okay. So that covers the rules. So Meg, did you want to add anything in there?
Yeah, I'll kind of go over, I'll talk about a bit about the rules and just some things to keep in mind. Again, like Anissa said, it's between 10 and 30 seconds. Can't go over 30 seconds, but it can be under 30 seconds. So again, around that 20-second range. We do find that if you time yourself at home with your script, you end up speaking a little bit faster when you're actually in the room. So, you know, if you're, every time you time it and it's only like 15 seconds when you're timing it, try to add another line in there, because chances are when you get to CMTC, it will be more like 10 seconds. And you really do want to make, you know, this is your opportunity to get in front of the reps. And so you want to make it worthwhile. So you don't want to just go in there with a 5-second commercial. That's why we do have a minimum of 10 seconds. You do have to slate. So a slate is where you're going to walk into the room, you stand on the X, and then you say your name, and that's it. If you are under the age of 18, you say your name and your age. So if I was 7 years old, I would say, hi, my name is Megan and I'm 7. And then you would take a breath, and then you start your commercial. And the time doesn't start until you actually start your commercial. So the slate isn't counted in those 10 to 30 seconds. It doesn't. It starts once you start your commercial. Again, a big thing that I learned last year doing these lives with Ray Miller, he says don't even bother bringing a prop in the room. It's just something else that you are distracted with, and that you're like, where do you put it when you're not actually using it? Like, some people hide it behind their back and then they try to pull it out, and so then, you know, it throws their whole thing off. It's something else to think about. So you can bring in a prop if you want, but realistically, they want to see your acting ability. And if you ever did get a job for a TV commercial, they're going to tell you specifically what they want you to pick up and when they want you to pick it up, right? So they're smart. You don't necessarily need to bring in a Coke can if you are talking about a commercial, right? Like, so they know that that's what you're talking about, unless it's like a mysterious pop, like, then they might not know what you're talking about.
Exactly. Don't overcomplicate it. I know that's something you had to say last year, Meg. So don't make it, like Megan's saying, adding a prop can just make it too complicated for you, and you do, and everyone does get a little nervous, of course, naturally, while doing this. If you're worried about your prop or things like that, it can just become distracting for yourself. So it's best just to focus on your lines and your delivery and your acting skills rather than worrying about carrying a prop or putting it down or picking it up.
Yeah, because it's kind of really awkward. There's no table, there's nowhere to hold, like put it. So some people like put it down on the ground, and then mid commercial they like bend over to pick it up. Like it's awkward. It throws focus. So don't do it, especially if you are a parent of a child like 4 to 7, 8 to 11. It's so hard for them with the prop, and then sometimes they just start fiddling with it. I say 4 to 7, 8 to 11, don't even try with prop. Just don't do it. They become so distracted in that room with that prop. It's just easier not to have it. Again, they will have the slate. They stand on the X. The commercial, Ray Miller also suggested picking a commercial that is actually out there. Reason is people, when they make commercials, are hired to do the writing for those commercials.
Yes.
If you write your own, it will never turn out as well as an actual commercial on TV. That being said, I do find for younger children, sometimes it is harder to memorize the commercial. So sometimes it's easier if you give them their favorite toy and then say, tell me about this toy. And then they make up their own commercial. It's easier for them to remember. They're excited about it. If they do forget their line, they can probably make something up right there on the spot. So that's fine. Again, they are kids, so we're not expecting them to like come out with amazing like one-liners of script here.
Exactly.
So yeah, sorry. Yeah. So that's what I suggest. It's really easy to find commercials. You just Google 30-second TV commercials, or solo 30-second TV commercials. And there is a ton out there. So just pick one that best represents you. What I mean is, my best example is I once was working with a kid a male who was 15 years old. And he was doing a children's Tylenol commercial where he was a concerned parent and how it was so hard to be a concerned parent when your kid is sick, but thank goodness for children's Tylenol. And I like looked at him and I was like, do you have a child at home? And he was like, no. And I was like, so do you really know what that emotion is to like worry about a sick child at home with children's Tylenol? And he was like, no. And I was like, what do you like to do? And he was like, basketball. And I was like, why don't we do a commercial about basketball then? So you want it to be relatable to you as well, right? So if it doesn't make sense for you, if it's like wrinkle cream and you're 12 years old, doesn't make sense.
Yes.
Pick something that is relatable to you. You can
Age appropriate.
You can see your age doing that commercial. Big ones are like CoverGirl. I always find lots of like our younger girls, like the 12 to 15, want to do CoverGirl. But if you actually watch CoverGirl commercials, none of them are 12 to 15 years old. So try to find something that's a little bit more age appropriate for 12 to 15. I think that's pretty much all I have to say.
Yeah. Well, in saying that, when you're selecting a commercial, you can also make it your own. So like Megan's saying, you can look one up, and if you want to change it, like say if it's a male doing the commercial, you can change it to a female. If the product can be used for any type of gender, then you can do it that way as well. The great thing about this competition is the judges do not have a script to go off of. So if you make a mistake, you just keep going. Keep that confidence up and just keep going. They don't have a script. They don't know what your next line would be. And they also don't know if you're using an actual commercial or if you've made up your own. But like Megan's saying, these people who create these commercials do know what they're doing, and they do keep them within a time constraint. So it is best to even just base it off of one of those.
Yes, and piggybacking on that, because it was actually something I wanted to say, so thank goodness you mentioned something. If there is a word in the script that you just cannot say, I have lots of words in my vocabulary that I can never say, like ask Anissa, it happens all the time to me. So if I was reading a script and practicing at home and one word or one line kept screwing me up and it would throw me every time, change that line, change that word, make it so that you are able to do it. It doesn't trip you up when you're saying it. You got it. Same with like the little kids, if you're working with them and every time they forget one line, don't at the end of their script be like, oh, you did really well, but you forgot this one line. Take the friggin' line out. That doesn't have to be there. Like make it easy for yourself. Don't overcomplicate it. Go in with lots of confidence. That's honestly what they're looking for. And yeah, just kind of get in there and do
Have
it.
fun with it.
Yeah.
That was that was Ray's tips from
Yep.
last year, was keep it simple, have fun with it, be confident. Those are really the things that they're looking for. It's not as much what the commercial is about, but how you deliver it and how you present it and are believable in selling the product. Because again, that's the point of TV commercials, is they're selling a product. So you just have to really make them believe you, that you're passionate about whatever you're speaking about, that you know what you're talking about. And by that, I mean, you know your lines. But again, if you do forget a line and it happens, and that's okay, just keep going. The judges are great too. The reps, especially, they go off of the ages. So if there is a child, for example, who does maybe not feel comfortable or messes up, a lot of the times they will maybe just let them try again. I mean, they're not here to make anybody feel bad, and they do want to genuinely look for talent. And there are times on set where actors also maybe forget a line, and it happens, and it's okay. So I just wanted to get that in there as well. Do we have anything else to add, Meg? We've gone through all my points. I just wanted to quick
talk about wardrobe, because I know that's a big question, and since we are not turning questions on today, just in the story, I think we should touch on wardrobe, because everyone always asks that question.
Yes.
I know we sent out in the email this week kind of stating that don't wear a costume. So, but you can look relatable. So if it's a commercial that's kind of like a country commercial, maybe like it's a cowboy, don't come dressed in like cowboy hat and like spurs and everything like that. But if you come in a plaid shirt and jeans, that makes sense. That goes with your commercial. So you're not going to show up as a cowboy in a business suit, right? Like, it just doesn't go with your commercial. It's not really going to link. So if you can't think of something that links your commercial to a wardrobe, go daytime casual.
Yeah.
Easiest way. You know, no crazy makeup. Again, unless it's really about, like if you're doing a mascara, then maybe like you want to have like mascara on, or if you're doing about a lipstick, then maybe having the lipstick on. But we don't want crazy makeup on you, because again, you want to always look like a blank canvas for all the reps. The reps want to see you as you, and then be able to go in their head being like, wow, I could see this person for this, 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 this.
Exactly.
If you come in with a full makeup on, or like crazy face paint on, then they can only see you for that. And they can't see you for all their other clients that they have. So that's the other one. So go daytime casual if you can. Try to have no logos on your shirt. This is, or saying. So I find this extremely hard for little kids, the 4 to 7, 8 to 11, because everything that you try to buy kids nowadays has some sort of like fun saying on it, or a logo. Try to have something plain. If it's just like a black t-shirt or a white t-shirt, or, you know, a nice simple dress, things like that. For little kids, if your child is like never wears dresses, like they are like only ever wear pants, don't try to put them in a dress for TV commercial.
No.
Like, you want them to be comfortable as well. So and that I would also say goes for any age range. Like, if you are not comfortable in something, if you never wear a collared shirt and then all of a sudden you decide you need to wear a collared shirt for this commercial, you're going to be fussing with it, and you're going to be playing with it, and you're not going to feel as confident. So wear what you're confident in, and go in and have fun with it, deliver the lines. The reps are not evil beings. Like, they want you to succeed. They want you to have fun. They want to know that, like, this is what you want to do. And so they want to make sure that you succeed.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And going off of that too, the reason we say no costumes or anything like that is, again, we do set it up to resemble what these reps are used to, and that is a real life TV commercial audition. And most of the times those breakdowns, which are the posting for the actors, they say wear something simple, don't wear anything too distracting, don't wear stripes, don't wear logos. Because often these TV commercial auditions will also be recorded. And again, they don't want to be distracted by anything you're wearing. So we're not being cruel by saying no costumes. We're just trying to really set you up to get a true experience, and to also make sure the reps are getting out of it, what they want as well. And that's to focus on you and not what you're wearing and not what you're holding and not what you're doing. And I'm seeing some things come through about, because they can ask those little questions through our live, Meg, asking about, can you move? You can definitely move. You can be more theatrical in your movements and what you're saying. Meg and I are always using our hands to talk.
Oh, brutal.
And you can do that. All we're saying is you can't lie down on the ground or sit down or sprint around the room. Like, do keep it, again, simple in your movements and what you're wearing, and just focus on what you're saying and how you're portraying that character.
And how you're delivering it. That's like the biggest thing. And like, pretty much, I'm going to just quickly go through like actually what happens at TV commercial competition. Because TV commercial is pretty much our first competition, like has been for the last several years. So I'm sure this year it's gonna be no different. TV commercial is normally our first one that we start with. So what happens is you'll see on the itinerary, and that gets released on the Wednesday, June 3rd. So don't ask for it beforehand because you're not gonna get it. You'll see like lineup, and it will have lineup, child 4 to 7, child 8 to 11, and female 12 to 15, let's say. Only those age divisions should come during that lineup time. Okay. So if you're male 12 to 17 and you're not listed on that lineup section at that time, don't come. Okay. So those 3 just show up. You line up in numerical order. So everyone has a number based on that's your contestant number. So you find your sign, child 4 to 7 or child 8 to 11 or female 12 to 15. You line up numerical. So 100, 102, 107, whatever it is there. For children 4 to 7 and child 8 to 11, one parent or one guardian, I should say, is allowed to stand in line with you. As long as they have a visitor pass, they're allowed to stand in the line with you. Once you hit that 12 age mark in those divisions, you are standing by yourself in the lineup. So your parent or guardian or visitor can drop you off at your lineup, and then they need to go to a seminar or workshop or somewhere else, and you guys can have a meeting spot afterwards that you go to. Then what happens is when we actually start the competition is one at a time they will go in the room. And so normally for child 4 to 7, 8 to 11, we do take them in like a smaller group, like maybe 10 away from their parents at a time. And then they line up before they go in one at a time. So parents, visitors, you will be waiting back. Like you don't get to come with your child up to the room, up to the door, and you don't get to see them do the competition, and you don't get to go into the room with them. You actually are the biggest distraction to them. So we don't allow it to happen. And we actually walk them away from you for a bit because they need that moment in time to get themselves set. Yeah. You know, like, again, you sometimes are a little bit of distraction. You, by no like harm to yourselves, but you almost make them a little bit more nervous than they need to be. So we try to remove them from you for a bit, let them go in. When they leave the competition room, they are walked with one of our staff members back to you. So they're never just randomly wandering around.
Yes, and our staff are instructed to make sure that they see the parent pick up the child. So they will literally grab your child's hands and walk them right to you. So there's no even running towards. They're instructed to walk physically right to the parent or guardian. Yeah, and then that's it. And then once you have your child back, you are allowed to go on with your itinerary or go back to your room or things like this. Or if, like, you know, the staff member has to ask you something, then that's when they would do it, and then we go from there. Yeah. So once you're done your commercial, once you get in the room and out of the room, you're done. So even if in our itinerary it says, like, let's say from 3 to 4 is the competition, and you get in the room at 3:05 and you're out by like 3:06, then you're done. You don't have to wait around till 4 o'clock. Once you're done your part of it, you're done. Okay? And then that's pretty much how every competition runs for us. Yeah. It's a great start, this competition. Awesome. Always so I think that's it for me here. And I don't think I have much more. And I don't. I have a screaming baby. Awesome. Okay. I'm gonna go. Okay. But yeah, I'll let you get off first. Commercial, it's great. You can still absolutely add it if you're not in it now that you have all the information. Just reach out to the team and they will definitely help you out. But honestly, it's such a great commercial. You have months and months to prepare for this competition. Find a commercial, memorize it, go in strong, have fun with it, be confident. Again, it's the first one, so as soon as you guys finish this one, it's like easy after that.
Okay. So awesome. Have a great week, everyone. Bye.
Thanks, Meg.
No worries.
Bye.
Bye.
Awesome. Okay, well, we finished a bit early, so I'm just going to turn the comments on for a couple of minutes. If anyone has any questions about this competition, if it's about anything else, we will get to it. We are going to cover every single competition. Hi, everyone. Awesome. So I'm just waiting to see if some questions are going to come through. If not, like Megan and I said, we will post on the story where you can send us some questions and then we'll answer them into the story as well. Awesome. Hi, Jules. Nope. That's a great question, Bailey. I believe it's Bailey. Yep. Does the commercial have to be known on TV? No, it doesn't. So like we said, you can use one that is on TV. You can Google one. If it's older, that's fine. Or you can completely make up your own. Megan and I do suggest using one or at least modifying one that's already been done because that has been written by professionals and it is also kind of timed a little correctly for those commercial spots. But again, you can make up your own. It doesn't have to be one that's already been done. Sorry, I'm just looking at all the other questions. For where can we select the commercial script? Again, you make up your own, or you can Google one, or if there's one that you've seen on TV that you would really like to do and it speaks to you, then definitely do that. Sky, how do I exit the room? We will show you that. So we're going to bring you, there'll be a staff member bringing you in and a staff member bringing you out. And once you see the setup, it'll be pretty clear for you, but we'll be there every step of the way. So we'll help you indicate where you need to be. And then when you also receive the program book, it gives you the room and the list of all of the competitions and where they're taking place, as well as the seminars and workshops. So we always suggest on the first day taking a look around and looking for all these different rooms. Alrighty. So for 12 years old, I would suggest something that you're interested in, as in like a sport, or we don't suggest makeup because usually, like as Megan said, makeup isn't sold, or you don't see commercials with 12-year-olds wearing makeup. Not that wearing makeup is bad or good or anything like that, but it's just you don't really see 12-year-olds selling makeup. So for 12-year-olds, even toys or preteen toys are often done, like those bracelets you can get, or books, or a type of food, anything like that. So it's really ultimately up to you. It's just the reps do suggest doing it so it's age appropriate. Okay, and so that's our suggestion as well. Where to find the scripts? Again, we would just Google it. You can Google scripts for TV commercials and even maybe add your age in there and some of your interests, and things will pop up. Still looking. The age limit for this competition, it's open to all ages, so you'll be sorted based on your division. So again, CMTC is 4 and up, and then the division is based on your age. And your divisions should have been in your confirmation email. You'll also get that at CMTC, or you can just email us and ask and double check them that you're in the correct division. How many judges will be in there? It depends. It's different every year, but it's usually an L-shaped big group of them. So there are reps in there that will be judging, and there's also reps in there that won't necessarily be judging, but they want to be in the competition just so they can see the different talent. You'll receive your program book when you are at event check-in. So every visitor and contestant will receive a copy of the program book, but it's not released until check-in at CMTC on the Wednesday. You can definitely wear simple light colors. Simple is the key word there. So you can really wear any color for this competition, for TV commercial competition. But again, we suggest that it is simple and not distracting. How long does the commercial have to be? Again, anywhere between 10 seconds. So the minimum is 10 and the maximum is 30. So 20 is really the sweet spot. Just make sure you're practicing it And then if you are around the 15-second mark, we do suggest just adding one more line, because we do tend to get people who are a little nervous, which is completely fine, but you tend to talk faster when you're nervous. I mean, I know I do, so that's okay. So if you don't know if you're in this competition or not, just check your confirmation statement or email the team and they can confirm with you what competition you're in. And then at CMTC, you will also receive a list of competitions that you're registered for. Sebastian, that's a great idea if you want to do jiu-jitsu. If it's a food commercial, can I eat at the during the competition? I suggest not, just because if there's something in your mouth, they're not going to be able to hear you. With that said, if it's the end of your commercial and you want to take a bite out of something, you can if you want. But again, keep it simple, and you don't want to get distracted by that or distract the reps from what you're actually saying. The reps are kind of open to ask questions during competition, so that's a good question. They won't interrupt you if they have a question for you, but they could ask you a question right when you're leaving, or they try not to do anything that will distract you from your performance. And they often will leave a lot of the questions for callbacks, or if you happen to see them in the hallways and approach them then, they might ask you a question there. But they can ask you a question. We don't want to interfere with anyone being able to talk to the rep. So if they ask a question or they keep someone in a room longer, that's ultimately up to them. However, we are in a pretty tight schedule, so it wouldn't be too long of a conversation, but they can ask questions. So there won't be a camera there. However, we suggest, a lot of the times people suggest looking at a point on the wall and looking there, but you can look at the reps. It's great engagement if you're making eye contact with any of them. So it is better kind of to face them and look at them and present to them. So the competition is closed to the audience. Therefore, the visitors won't be able to see this competition. It's just for the contestants and then the reps. Do I have to be really good at acting to do this competition? No. So again, CMTC is meant for new faces. And if acting is not your strongest abilities, this is a great competition because, again, there's no script. So you can go in there, and if you mess up, you can just keep going. They don't know. So for beginners interested in just trying to get a little started in acting, get their feet wet, this is a great competition at CMTC to kind of immerse yourself in. Okay. Tyler, you won't be getting a script for this competition. For TV film script as well as self-tape, we provide the script, but for this competition, you do have to either select your own or make up your own. Carrie, if you freeze up, often when we have had this happen, it happens every year, and that's okay. Often the reps will give you another go or send you out of the room, and we can add you to the end of the line so you can go again. It does just depend on the situation, but we do want everybody to have their shot, and we understand people can get nervous. And again, new faces, new experiences. So no worries if you freeze up, it's okay, it happens, and we can just try again. Because again, it's about the exposure and not as much about the points you might receive from the judges. And they do want you to be able to deliver your commercial. So if you freeze up, we'll just try again. So no, you won't be kicked out if you freeze up. You're definitely allowed bar piercings. It's just, all I'll say about that is the reps might talk to you about that at callbacks. There are models and talent who do have piercings and do have tattoos. It really depends on the client and or what the manager or agent is looking for in their look. So if they ask you to take it out for a job of sorts, then maybe they'll do that. But for CMTC, it should be fine. Okay, I'm gonna do one more question. Are you allowed to have bleach in your hair? Yeah, so you can have bleached hair. You can really have any hair color that you want. We just suggest keeping it simple and not too much, as in keeping it natural, just because the reps do want to see you and what you look like, as clients can change your hair color and you can change your hair color, but they kind of want to know what you're working with, just as a blank canvas and just as you are. Okay, awesome. Alrighty, well, I'm gonna go now, everyone. But thank you so much for tuning in. Hopefully I was able to answer a lot of your questions. Oh, there's one more question I want to answer. Are you allowed props? So you can bring a prop, but it has to be something that you can carry in and out. And we do suggest that it's just something small so it's not distracting. So hopefully that answers your question. I'm going to repost our live session right now, so you'll be able to see us talk a little more about that. But you can bring props, just again, something very small and maneuverable and nothing that will distract you. And I do suggest natural hair colors. Then that's just my little pro tip for you based on my experiences at CMTC. But it ultimately, again, is up to you. Okay. Alrighty, well, thank you, everyone. I hope you have a lovely night. Bye. I'll chat with you next week.